This phone lets you put on an anti-filter so you can turn this into this. But wait a minute, the only people who have camera filters are those who already own a proper camera with lenses. I see what you're doing, Xiaomi. I see you. So, is this Xiaomi 14 Ultra really the endgame for people who mainly care about the camera when choosing a phone? 14 Ultra? Isn't Xiaomi a Chinese company? Shouldn't this be a 13A Ultra? In the box, you get the usual suspects. You get a 90-watt charger with a USB-C cable, which is great because some brands make you buy it. You also get a SIM eject tool, a free clear frosted hardshell case, and a pre-installed screen protector, which, let's face it, is better than anything you could do yourself on a curved screen. Now, this Xiaomi 14 Ultra is priced at 5,199 ringgit for the 16GB RAM and 512GB storage model, which is hashtag cheap buy compared to the similarly spec'd Samsung S24 Ultra at 6,799 ringgit. That is a 24% price gap that should carry some weight as we move on to the other parts of this evaluation. Heck, even if you add this optional photography kit, you're still saving a couple $100. This thing is pretty powerful and runs silky smooth, but it can get a little warm after some heavier use. Oh, it also comes with a newer version of Bluetooth and is capable of 5G and NFC. This Xiaomi 14 Ultra looks almost just like the 13 Ultra, but just a little curvier. The first thing you're going to notice is that circular camera bump at the back that has gotten ultra bigger with a smoother transition to the vegan leather back cover. Outside of China, we only get the vegan leather version, the black one and this white one. Don't call me racist, 我会讲中文哦，跟你讲啊。According to Xiaomi, it's 6 times more durable compared to the previous model. There you go, people who like to go commando. And even though this looks top heavy, it's actually not. See, it's balanced right in the middle. The only way I can explain this is that they used the battery to counterbalance that chunky camera unit. So yeah, science and engineering. I thought I was gonna have a hard time handling it, but it honestly feels pretty comfy to hold, with my index finger kinda resting under the bump. And before I forget, this phone has an IP68 rating, so it's not scared of getting a little wet when you take a dip to cool off in this ultra hot Malaysian weather. And because real displays have curves, we get a curved 6.73-inch WQHD plus 12-bit AMOLED display with a 20:9 aspect ratio. The screen that is curved along every edge does look pretty sleek. It also makes the phone look and feel more wieldy, but to some people, it's still an acquired taste. For instance, you might get annoyed that the display area doesn't actually extend all the way, so you end up with an extra bit of bezel. They advertise a peak brightness of 3000 nits, but realistically, say if you're reading a document outside, you're gonna get about 1250 nits on auto and 700 nits on manual with sunlight mode, which is good enough for most viewing conditions. For context, it's brighter than last year's model, but still a little dimmer than the S24 Ultra. You also get a refresh rate of up to 120Hz and a touch sampling rate of 240Hz, which has become pretty standard these days. I just leave it on default, which dynamically changes your refresh rate based on user behavior to save on battery. All of that adds up to a bright, vibrant image that is color accurate and responsive. That bump in brightness over the 13 Ultra also improved viewing experience for HDR content, especially on Netflix and YouTube. Speakers! It's got them. Okay, joking lah. Actually, the speakers are surprisingly loud and the soundstage is wider than you'd expect. However, the timbre is a little metallic, kinda like, you know? And because of the bright sound signature, you're less likely to crank up the volume all the way if you want to protect your ears. Kinda good, but a little meh. Also, no audio jack and they didn't give us the USB-C adapter, so we're stuck with wireless. Anyways, here's a sound test for your reference. In terms of battery, this phone comes with a 5000 mAh battery with some Xiaomi wizardry that's supposed to extend battery life. It has plenty of juice if you're just mindlessly scrolling the internet or watching videos on TikTok. It'll get you about 11 to 13 hours. But taking photos and videos especially is very battery draining. It consumed about 20 to 30% in 1 hour. The S24 Ultra still wins by quite a bit though, so if you're looking for the best battery life, you're not gonna get it with this phone. For charging with the USB-C port, we get a very fast 90-watt hypercharge. We also get an almost equally fast 80-watt wireless hypercharge. On top of that, we also get reverse wireless charging. Though the camera can get in the way when you're wirelessly charging, so you gotta finesse it a little. But if you're using a regular wireless charging puck like this, you should be fine. Now, if you haven't been a fan of MIUI because of the pre-installed apps or the ads, the bad news is that they're still here. The good news is that you can turn off most of the ads. And with this new Xiaomi Hyper OS, they have actually made quite a few changes. This new OS is more lightweight and takes up less data. Control center is more minimalist. Response to actions feel a lot snappier. You get a wide range of lock screen customizations. You also get better software support, got updates for the next 4 years, while Samsung has promised 7. At least it's something. And finally, we have some AI features, but they are mostly tied to the camera, so let's talk about that first. Now let's talk about what y'all came here to see, the camera. We get a Leica Sumilux optical lens powered quad camera system, all 50 megapixels, with 6 focal lengths ranging from 12mm to 240mm. The main camera has a new Sony LYT900 1-inch sensor that is the successor to the IMX989 found in the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. The other 3 use the Sony IMX858, which is the same one in last year's phone. The main camera has a wide-angle lens and handles both 1x and 2x zoom. A larger sensor like this can capture a greater dynamic range with more shades of light and dark, giving us more details in the shadows and highlights. It also gathers more light and gives you superior performance in low light conditions. A byproduct of this is that your phone doesn't need to apply so much denoise, so the image retains more details in general. Not only is the camera's auto-white balance almost always accurate to what my eyes see, I'm liking both flavors of Leica image profiles. Leica Authentic emulates the iconic Leica look. Images have natural colors with a realistic amount of contrast and good detail reproduction. You also get a little bit of vignette at the corners for a moodier look. Leica Vibrant is developed in collaboration with Xiaomi with boosted saturation levels and better HDR performance. Images also look brighter at night with no visible vignetting. This is the camera you should use by default, especially in less than ideal lighting conditions. The 2x zoom is also pretty good with minimal image quality loss. Then we have the ultra-wide camera that is very useful for shooting indoors for architecture and outdoors for landscapes. But it can add cool visual interest to videos by exaggerating camera movements or close focusing. This one here is pretty good in terms of colors, dynamic range, and detail, but it does have a little bit more noise than the main camera. Moving on, we have the 3.2x telephoto camera that is surprisingly good at taking portraits in both photo and portrait mode for more bokeh. The minimum focusing distance is very short, so you can get right up to people's faces. Again, good colors, detail, and dynamic range, noticeably improved compared to last year's model. We also get a 5x telephoto camera that is almost the same story with the 3.2x. Great for portraits, it lets you to get even closer to your subjects, but it's a little softer and you can't use portrait mode. It can also do a 10x zoom for you to perf on the moon. And finally, we get a 32 megapixel front camera that honestly looks pretty nice. Maybe it's because I have studio lights here, but yeah, look, bulu hidung also can see. I lose control when you're not next to me. I'm falling apart right in front of you, can't you see? So that's all for photography. Now let's talk about videography. So in video mode, you get to shoot up to 8K 30fps, but only if you turn HDR off. 4K 30 and 60 fps looks really good, and you can actually go up to 120 fps, but it does get a little soft. But who cares? It's fun. The optical image stabilization definitely helps when taking photos at longer focal lengths or at longer exposures, but it's more helpful with videos, especially with camera movement. The 14 Ultra does give you quite a few modes to shoot with, like Pro mode, photo mode, video mode, etc. I'm just gonna highlight a few interesting ones. We get Director mode, which gives you a less intrusive interface compared to Pro mode and also allows you to record in log if you want to do more work in post. We get Short Film mode, which gives you preset templates to create short videos with zero editing required. You also get Fast Shot, which has quickly become my favorite for taking photos because of the intuitive rangefinder interface, where lenses are listed by focal lengths and you can adjust exposure compensation. One new highlight with the Xiaomi 14 Ultra is everybody's favorite thing right now, AI. We get a Xiaomi AISP called Imaging Brain 3, which is an AI-LM computational photography platform. What it looks like for you is that your camera can identify objects and surroundings in your shots and immediately adjust camera settings to enhance the pictures. In the Gallery app, you get some AI features like erasing unwanted elements, bokehifying photos, sky replacement, and other beautifying effects. Video effects is where it gets interesting. You get some pretty dope real-time rotoscope magic that would have taken the editor an entire day to draw manually. Though, I do suggest that you edit your video first and then chuck it in to add effects, like After Effects. Get it? Now let's talk about this photography kit that everybody is also talking about. Key things include a full-featured camera grip that gives you an additional 1500 mAh battery. It's a power bank, okay? But it also allows you to focus and snap with just one button, like a proper camera. It also has button presets that you can customize. Then you get this 67mm filter adapter ring that fits on any 67mm camera filters. You can add on your own ND filter or mist filter to make you look more like a proper photographer or videographer. You also get the wrong type of decorative rings that your fiance might like in silver and orange. Personally, I really like this, but if you're gonna complain about the price, just know that you're already spending 5,000 over bucks on the phone. And if you got filter, your lens already few thousand bucks, but at least, right? As a Leica Sumilux, here are the pros, mercs, and cons of the Xiaomi. Say it together with me, Xiaomi 14 Ultra. I give this phone a hashtag cheap buy for professional photographers and videographers, 8 out of 10. Honestly, this Xiaomi 14 Ultra is an unapologetically camera-focused flagship smartphone. In fact, I wonder if it got a little too camera focused. Hear me out. So companies can only spend that much time and resources when developing a new phone. A lot of the features here are so specific to the photography and videography niche that your average Joe might not even use or benefit from. This will actually lead them to lean more closely towards brands that are spending more resources developing things that have a wider impact. I'm talking about optimizing the operating system or battery life. Nonetheless, as a content creator, I'm pretty psyched about this phone actually. I can even see myself using this as my main camera for some of my more leisurely trips. In fact, with the attachable filter thread here with the adapter, I can use this to put on an ND filter and shoot good videos too. I mean, I don't have to do much editing with my photos. I can deal with smaller video files, and most importantly, I can save my aging bag from lugging around a huge backpack. So, win-win-win situation. But of course, you might have different priorities, so you should pick the phone that works best for you. And leave a comment down below if you have any questions regarding this phone, and I'll try my best to reply to you. If you find this video to be helpful, don't forget to like and share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hit that notification bell harder than you hit the treadmill to not miss out more content from us. And don't forget to follow us, but not like a stalker, on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram to see more shenanigans from the Mob House crew. Again, my name is Shane, the Bangsawan, and I will see you in the next one.